Hi everyone. This is another video about back care. I get asked a lot because it's such a frequent problem. What can I do to make my back feel better? And a lot of us have jobs where we're sitting all day and it's really hard on our bodies. So this practice is going to be using a chair. And you say, well, Allie, if we're sitting all day, why would our practice be in a chair? Well, this is geared for, work. If you have the ability to, take a little break at your desk, then this little practice is for you, and you can do it at home as well. And some people might be you, and here comes my cat. Lying on the ground might not be an option. So this is a lovely practice that's a little bit differently accessible. So, folding chair. That's our prop. So I think I'm going to turn mine sideways so you can get a little bit a better view. You can always face me. And we're going to do a little pelvic wake up, because when we sit in chairs, even this chair is on a little bit of an angle. So unless we are coming towards the front of our chair, which I highly recommend if you do have a desk job and you do have a harder chair, if you can get to the front, it's going to give you more support. If we have one of those more cushy, swivelly chairs, I think the thing I would say is try to change up how you're sitting so you don't end up in like one posture for hours and hours. But honestly, just getting up for a couple of minutes and moving around and then coming back down can be really, really valuable. So I want you to come to the edge of your chair and just kind of rock back and forth. And can you feel there's like little bones underneath of you? Those are your sits bones, and they actually look like little rockers. So we're going to rock on them. So if we rock back, we're going to go into what we call a pelvic tilt, a posterior tilt. But I'm a developmental person, so I want you to focus on your tail. Your tail is going to reach forward and out, which is then going to take the rest of your spine with you. Then your tail is going to push and reach behind you, which is going to take you forwards. Let's try that again. So this tail is going to initiate the movement. Now, why the tail? Well, in my experience, one, it's actually how your body moves. But it's going to create more space, and that's what we're interested down in these areas that get very compressed. So as that tail reaches, it's an energy. We open, we're still open here, and we're opening in the back. And then as that tail reaches back, we're opening in the front, and we're actually kind of wrapping around the back. So let's just do that 2 more times. So I'm going to kind of use my arms to do a little different demonstration, and back. And we do 1 more of those. So we're just focusing on the tail and back. Then we find the middle of that, right in the middle. Because we did that, sit in the middle has more meaning now. Okay, there's an energy that goes up the front of the spine, right up through the middle of the throat, right up through the middle of the head, and it keeps going out your head, reaching to space. And then we also have this downward energy. See if you can feel that. So the energy is up the front, and then it flows down the back. So we don't hold ourselves in a posture. We are energy, and we want to check in to see if we're getting that energy to move, right? During the day, when we're concentrating on things or we're sitting in furniture that doesn't support us, we're usually collapsed, right? We're like this. There's no movement there, and there's no support. So we find the support. Now, imagine cut the string, collapse. Now, re-engage that energetic string? And can you also feel how you push down through the sits bones? Space. One more time, cut the string. It's kind of cool, right? You're like, oh, it really works. And then you're going to re-engage the string and also feel the push down. All right, now hip mobility is going to impact the lower back. Okay, so forward. This is like a really deep squat, but what's nice is we're doing it in a chair. So we have all this support. And you can feel the power, right? This pushing sensation that's coming up your legs. That is going into your hip socket. That's good stuff. That gives support for your spine to just flow out. So can we feel the power in our lower body and the quietness and the length and the space through your spine? And then use your feet to push to come up. And remember that energetic string? Can we find it? Let's do it again. So we go forward. Your thighs are actually going back. Your pelvis is rolling over. Beautiful long spine and support of the front body to the back. Remember our belly down practice that we did in another video, and returning. We're doing this slow because we want to follow what it feels like. If we blindly do reps, like I'm supposed to do 10 reps of this or, 15 reps of that, and we're not paying attention, we might miss important changes or shifts. So our body changes every time we do a rep. They're not all the same. And again, when we're working with pain in the body, going slower is going to help your nervous system feel more in control and be clearer about what it's experiencing. And it can help decrease pain. Let's do one more. Going forward. All right, now, this next thing might feel good, might not. So again, everybody's unique. So if it doesn't feel good to do this next part, just keep doing the hinges. The next part is to release down. Use yourself for support. Hold your legs, hold your ankles. And we want to release. So you don't want to feel like we're hanging. Let your spine flow like a waterfall. Now we're going to lengthen back out. Push through the feet and lengthen back out. And let's do that again. Releasing down. Lots of openness. Lengthen the spine. Release through the head. There's still that energy in the head reaching towards the floor. Push through your legs to lengthen up. And then push even more to bring yourself all the way back up to rest. Beautiful. Next part, we're going to come up to standing. So now we just did this beautiful hinge. I want you to notice, are you one of these people? Right? Hinge forward. You might need to, get your feet back so that when you go to stand up, you're still using your feet. And it's easeful. And guess what? Here's that string coming up out of your head. Beautiful. Okay. Next part of this, we're going to use the top of the chair. If you're a tall person, if you have a chair like this, it might not be high enough. And you might want to go to a wall to do this. Or if you have something higher. Okay. Now, next thing we're going to talk about as I disappear. We did a video, kind of in this whole series, where we rolled out the feet and we did some foot exercises. So we're going to do some strengthening exercises, which is going to support the back. It's very important to figure out how we stand, to notice where we stand on our feet. So if you just take a few steps, don't think too much about it, and then just stop and plant your feet. First thing I want you to notice is, where's the weight? If we're someone that has our weight more on the outside of our feet, that force that's coming up from the ground is going to go up through the back of that pelvis. And it's not so nice on the back, right? If we are someone that kind of rolls in, there's going to be a collapse, and there might be issues with the pelvis or the pelvic diaphragm. So we want to find what we call tripod feet. So the mound of your big toe, not your actual toe, but below, we call it the metatarsal. Big toe mound, the little toe mound, and the middle of your heel all have equal weight, or as equally as we can get it, okay? And our second toe can line up with our hip sockets if that works for our body. We're all built differently, right? So bringing our legs together like this, it might not work for everyone. It's okay to have them, if you need to, a little bit further apart. Just notice the weight of the feet and that you haven't rolled onto the outside. If you do that, you can feel how you kind of collapse, or that you haven't collapsed to the inside, okay? And we're going to rise up. And as you rise up, can you go over the first three toes? Or are you out here? Or did you collapse in, right? Now, as you're lowering, aim for the middle of your heel. Middle of the heel touches first. Let's go again, rising up and lower. So our feet are diaphragms, arches. So when we strengthen the arches and when we organize the feet in relationship to gravity, we are going to create a lot of, I'm going to use the word holistic strength in the body. So feet are really important. So we're going to rise up and we're going to lower. And we can go a little bit faster. We can just do 4 more. Noticing where you rise up or lower. Let's do 2 more. Last one. And come down. Now we're going to release. Just let your knees bend. See if you can find a little bounce. We want shock absorption for our back. So that's again, what the feet do or don't do. And when we have this alignment, that push so that we're able to go up and down like this is happening in those first 3 toes. It's up the shins, it's right through the center of your knee joint. It comes right up into the hip sockets. It comes in through the front of the pelvis and up the front of the spine, so that the back can just relax. So just a little bit of bouncing. You can do this if you have a stability ball, getting on that ball, and you can do all that pelvic stuff and then bounce. So it's helping hydrate the tissues. So that's what we're doing here. We're actually hydrating. Kind of crazy, right? This is also kind of awakening. And you could be as silly as you wanted and shake stuff out. And how bouncy does your body feel? Can you free your tail, or is it stuck underneath, right? So just finding that bouncing. Can your whole body bounce? Breathing. Let's do 2 rounds of breath like that. If you are at work, maybe you close your office door. Or maybe you get your coworkers to join in. And then let it settle, but you're going to notice it's really hard to stop because we created some nice rhythms in here. So don't abruptly stop. Let's have a little fun with it. Super. All right, now, last thing we're going to do here are some standing squats. So we want to find that same hinging that we did when we sat in the chair. The thighs are coming up and back. Your pelvis is rotating over. Let me turn this way. Make sure that tail's reaching. And then let your feet relax. So sometimes I think we think like we have to pull ourselves down to the ground in a squat, but it's actually a releasing. And then you want to gather that right through those feet and push that energy up. And then there's our string. Releasing. And then gathering. We could add arms. Releasing, but reaching. This is just going to help create lots of length. Reach out through the crown of your head. Reach through your tail. See if you can create your own self-traction. Front, supporting. Not by holding my ab muscles, but by that tone that you created when you were lying on the floor. And then a nice push and come up. Feel the head reach. And release. And return. Release. And return. Now, notice that everything we've done is with both feet on the ground. Yeah, we'll do another video where we start practicing shifting, because that starts to get a little bit more complicated. But this is where we want to start, with a lot of support. Remember, we're working with the nervous system. When it comes to pain, it's not just musculoskeletal. We want to throw in that nervous system. How about 2 more? Releasing. Reach your tail. Reach out through the hands. Space. 1 more time. And return. Awesome. Okay. Thanks so much for joining me. I'll see you in the next one. Take good care.